Then don't talk to children sexually. You know that it's a criminal offence to do what you've done. The police are going to be called and you're going to be arrested today based on this chat. No, not today. No, not today, Mr. Simple. No. Why? Why do you want me to forgive you?
It's going to be bad.
Why?
Because, you understand?
Yeah. Then don't talk to children sexually.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Malawi?
I'm from Malawi.
Yeah. What would happen in Malawi if you spoke to a child in a sexual way?
Something very bad.
Like what? You tell me.
I'm asking you to forgive me.
No. What would happen?
But even in Malawi, I've never done such things because something like social media, we have the mind that...
That's because in Malawi they would come down on you like a ton of bricks, whereas in the UK, people like you get away with it. What, are you on a student visa?
Sorry?
Student visa?
Work visa.
Work visa?
Work visa. I work as a carer.
You work as a carer?
Yeah. Wow.
So you're in a place of trust. You asked for pictures of her virginity. I take you as my wife to be.
Yeah, I texted her as well.
You texted her to be your wife?
Yeah, I cannot deny.
Yeah, I can't wait to grab your breast. How to suck my dick. You said that. Remember that? What's your family gonna think?
Please forgive.
What will your family think? Your mom, dad, brothers, sisters?
Please forgive me. I'm coming from Africa, a poor country.
You need to know the laws of every country. If I go on holiday, I read the laws, so I know what I can and can't do.
Yes, people. So, yeah, we've had another... this is something that has been going on, and I know there's been a couple of videos circulating on people who have found themselves on the other side of the law because they have been communicating with minors. And to be very honest, whenever I see this, what I do say to myself is, it's not about you begging. It's not about, you possibly praying, wanting to present to be the most humble person and seeking all the mercies or pity that you may claim. This is the law. You wouldn't get away with it. Okay. And that is the reality. However, this is something that I would want to say to, our brothers and sisters who are migrating to the West. I don't know about other countries, but I can only speak for the UK. There is a temptation that, especially, I've only seen males, falling themselves or finding themselves victim, finding themselves, to be involved with things like this. So I can only address it from a male point of view. My brothers, yo, listen. Whenever you have any chat in terms of social media, any kind of personal contact with anybody who is deemed as a minor, and that conversation is deemed to be sexual, which is deemed to be, inappropriate, you are going to find yourself, in the arms of the law. It is as simple as that. Okay, you can pray, you can scream, you can shout, whatever it is. You will definitely not have anybody to find pity on you because that is the law. The law doesn't take into consideration whether, you've been in the UK 2 days or even whatever years it is, not even your personal circumstances. So this is something that, working with children, I need to raise it and we all need to be able to learn from that. And let me share something. Back home, people do some of these things and get away with it. There is this theory of, oh yeah, sugar daddy, young people finding older men or older men, finding younger ones, catch them young and all those silly thoughts. The reality is over here, once the law grabs you, you wouldn't find an escape. Nobody will have any form of pity on you. You will be put under the categorization of an inappropriate adult. You will have the label of being a pedo. Okay, you would equally have the label of sometimes, if they deem necessary, to be deported. My brothers, this is something that we really need to take very serious, because when it comes to times like this, no matter how much you scream and shout, the law is not going to have mercy on you. Okay, The worst case is where you are working with people who are deemed vulnerable, and especially those of us working in the care industry. We have a very, very big task on our heads where we are believed to be working with the vulnerable, and for that reason, there is a standard of responsibility upon ourselves. So just like this brother of ours saying that what? He works as a carer. Working as a carer, if you are deemed to be what? In a relationship with minors, there is something called DBS. DBS is done on everybody who works with children, minors, you know, or even adults. It is done on everybody. And if there is any indication to suggest that you have been inappropriate based on those contexts, that's it. You cannot work in the care industry. You cannot. Sometimes I have reflected and possibly think, you know what, sometimes because agencies and that need people to work in these industries, they don't have, I don't know, I may be wrong. Please let's know whether, you know, that's something that you do experience. But I really doubt whether when people come over and they are coming to work in the care industry, people have understanding or people are trained to appreciate certain things. And let me lay some of these things, you know, so that you don't find yourself as a victim to it. When you are working with vulnerable people, you cannot take presents from the client, and that could be, you know, having access. It's more or less deemed as a form of exploitation. So if your client is saying to you, you know, I am buying a meal for you, this is my personal. This is my personal. I don't know about other people, but I wouldn't let my client, my young person, my vulnerable adult buy a meal for me. I'm getting paid. So if I really want to have the meal, I need to be able to pay for it myself. You can make your own decision, but in terms of what, any issues coming up in future, I will possibly advise, don't allow your clients to buy your meal for you. You are getting paid, and that's exactly what you can use your wages for, if that's what you want. Okay, so having gifts, you know, thinking that, you know what, now we are friends. I am so close to my client. My client is now my Facebook friend. It's a big no-no. It's a big no-no. Your client can never be a friend of yours on Facebook. So you cannot give your clients, your service user, your Facebook details. Never at all. If they even go and find you on Facebook, they cannot straight away befriend you. They will send a request. So you cannot say, you know what, oh yeah, they sent a request. That's a big no-no. Stay away. My brothers and sisters, and I'm really, you know, honest about this. Stay away. Don't be a friend to your clients, to your person that you are support, both children and adults. You can definitely say, well, they are adults, you know, they can make a decision on their own. And going back to this very incident, anybody under the age of 18 is deemed as a minor. So if you may present to say that, well, the picture that I saw or the person told me that they were an adult, that is your view. But the reality is, if there is every reason to believe that that person is a minor, you stand yourself, you know, on the side of the law, and the law wouldn't get you away with it. Okay. Equally, if you find the person, and this is where it becomes so, you know, really, yes, if this person is an adult, but the person is deemed as a vulnerable adult, so they may be over 18, but in the law, in the eyes of the law, if they are deemed as a vulnerable adult, and you have any form of relationship with them through your work, then you are definitely found yourself, you know, in the arms of the law. Am I going to advise it? Not at all. What would be my advice? Meet the person and get to understand their personal circumstance. Maybe do your own research and make sure you haven't got any kind of professional role or professional responsibility with this person that you may want to have a relationship with. It may sound a bit scary that, yo, Nana, what exactly are you talking about? All that I'm talking about is, yo, you don't want to find yourself in this brother's shoes where he may say, you know what, she presented themselves to be older. She presented to say that what? They are 20. People find all sorts of fake IDs. There is internet available in these countries. So in terms of people chatting to you, people are available. People are more or less available all the time. So don't allow yourself to find yourself as a victim. Okay? Because when it happens, the law is not going to blink on that. So that is one thing. So make sure whoever you are chatting to, you are really convinced of who you are chatting to. It's really possible it could be an inappropriate person setting you up for you to think that you are chatting to an adult. And whatever you are chatting, remember the internet does not wipe itself away. It is actually on record. You can delete it on your phone. You can delete it on whatever platform it is, but there is the opportunity for the police to be able to download it. So my brother and sister, if something tells you that you may not want people to see this conversation, don't. Leave the person to go. Find somebody who is definitely of your age, who is appropriate for you to be in that kind of relationship with. Facebook, don't waste your time, okay? Don't allow your client to follow you on Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever it is. Don't engage with them on social media. Don't engage with your service users on social media. It is a big no-no. Anything that you would do outside your working hours, so speaking to your service user on Snapchat, don't allow your service user, whoever you are supporting, to even know your Snap details. Even on Instagram or even on Facebook, don't share it. Anything that you share with your service user or the client that you are supporting should be able to be recorded on their file. So whatever you are sharing with them, you're going on holiday, they shouldn't have access to your holiday pictures. They shouldn't have, you need to relate to your service users with your client on a professional basis. Somebody may say, Nana, you may be a bit uptight. Well, if you know what it took for me to gain the qualification that I have, and I believe it's the same thing for you, my brother and sister. And equally, I would possibly say from the onset, my brother, that money to be able to secure this job. And for that reason, I would say don't allow your feelings to lead you in times like this. Okay? Make sure the head is the one definitely is continue to prompt you. So don't allow yourself. Don't stoop, because there may be families waiting for you, depending on whatever wages that you have. So if you are going to allow yourself for somebody to tell you, this is an easy catch, that person is an easy catch, please stay away. Stay away, because you wouldn't just find yourself on the side of the law, but you may easily get deported, which is also something that you may have to deal with. Okay? So social media, don't get, your service users, your clients, to be following you up on that. Present, don't worry yourself about it. I'm sure because you are working, you are able to buy yourself whatever presents, is being offered. In some instances, some organizations may say, once you're giving a present, make sure you show it to a manager, let it get recorded before you can actually have it. That is something that your organizational policy would be able to advise you on that. But what I would say is, if you can, stay away from it. Yeah, there may be times where people think, yes, this is my client, this is my service user, they need to know about me. That's really important. But the likes of, people getting to think that, this is my son, this is my daughter, they all need to know about my clients. They don't need to. You need to be able to uphold some level of confidentiality. They don't need to know about your clients. And so maybe your clients do not need to know about your personal life. So that may include them getting to know where exactly you stay. If you realize that you are living close to your client, you may need to disclose. You may need to share that with your manager in supervision, so that that is recorded. And in case you meet your service user in town, everything that will bring you into, that kind of close proximity to your client, please stay away from it. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. It's really, really a sad experience seeing this brother thinking that, please have pity on me, please have mercy. It doesn't work. It's too late. You have found yourself in the eyes of the law and you wouldn't get away with it. And maybe in the worst case, if this should happen, please get the police to be involved. Stop wasting your time begging individuals who have actually, found you that this is what you've been doing. Stop wasting your time pleading to them. People will just record you and post it on social media. That still does not bring you any pity. Just get the police to be involved. They are the right people to deal with it. So where you are thinking, let me plead with these people, let me see how they are gonna allow me, they're gonna give me mercy and that. No, stop wasting your time. It's not gonna work. ask them to call the police because you've done the silly thing, and the police will be involved. So whilst we are talking about this and that, I know people may say, yo, no, it's a bit, serious. I know it is really serious. It is really serious. And unfortunately, if you do find yourself in the eyes of the law, especially when it comes to things to do with what? Engaging with minors. Yo, my brother, please. Yo, my brother, please stay away. Stay away. Even when you are dealing with an adult, there is this issue of consent. Listen to what this is being said to these professionals in terms of consent and what it means.
Let's finish on this. Consent. Remember we went over consent?
Deserves it.
Good. You're with a young lady. She has to consent to every act. So if you were in the car with her and something went down in the car, that does not mean that something has to go down at the apartment. If y'all did something in the car, that does not mean something else has to happen. That next day, you cannot assume that it is okay to send a dick or something like that. If you're in study hall and a trackster walks by you and she's got tights on and she's going to study, you can say, look at that fat. That's harassment. She has every right to turn around and press charge against you. If you're not quite sure what to say, picture it being your little sister or your mother, and then shut what you call the fuck up. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So while somebody may say, well, we had, a bit of a consensual relationship, this is what happened, I will possibly say you need to be very convinced that it is consensual. You need to be very, very careful. You need to be very, very careful, because this can easily, land people into big trouble. This can easily land people into big trouble. And finally, let me end with this. If you receive any kind of, pictures, if you receive any kind of text messages, anything that is to do with, children, vulnerable people, receive videos and that, and you send that video on. If you are in a WhatsApp group and that is what is being done, where you are receiving, these kind of pictures, you're receiving videos of minors, or even, my brother and sister, if you are working in the care industry, you need to be very careful. What I would advise is, you got to move on. You cannot send anything on with a view that I was sharing it with somebody. You are deemed to be aiding and abetting it. And all that it means is you are equally, promoting that inappropriate content being spread around. So my brothers, you may say, you know what, yeah, I just shared it. All that I will say to you is, please don't. Yeah, don't. And if you are not very sure, get somebody who understands the law to be able to help you, especially if you want to work in this care industry, because it takes a lot for you to gain the necessary qualifications for you to be able to work in the care industry. And what I would advise you is, whilst it's fulfilling, where you know that you are supporting people, it's the same people that can easily make you vulnerable if you are not very careful. If you are not guarded, you need to be able to set your boundaries straight up. If not, you can easily find yourself, in a very compromising state. So what I will definitely, round up to say is, please, in terms of texting your service users, make sure it is a professional role. It is a professional relationship. Don't do anything in terms of what? Personal. Forget about it. Yeah. Equally, if the person could be a minor, or if you are not very sure, please allow the person to roll on. Yeah. And even if you feel that the person is leading you on, I will definitely not support it. But until you convince yourself you know who exactly you are texting to, please, if it's a minor, you wouldn't get away with it. And my brothers and sisters, it may have taken you a lot for you to be able to, you know, make that journey or even decide you want to work in this care industry. And if that is what happens, my brother, you will likely to be, you know, not just arrested, but barred from working in this industry. This is just a bit of, you know, advice out there. I know we do see these videos and straight away it becomes, you know, what do we do? Another brother is in trouble. Sometimes people are in trouble because they don't know the law. As the person said in the video, they don't know the law. But not knowing the law does not mean that you will get away with it. So all that you have to do is, yo, this is something that I have shared with you, free. All that we can ask of you is like the video, share with somebody, subscribe to the channel, because we talk about black experiences on this channel. And if this is something that you've liked, or if this is something that you've benefited from, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Maybe the next time we will hear another positive story. And that's exactly what we want to do. But for today, it was to educate the brothers, okay? Stay away. For our mothers, just like I said, or for our sisters, what I said, social media, you know, guard your boundaries. Make sure you don't let yourself down, because the reality is, if it happens, you will find yourself to blame. And whilst today's discussions has focused primarily on people working within the care industry, I rather want to end with every parent who has a son, okay? Every parent who has a young lad, who has a son, you know, especially in the teenage years, where they may be thinking about, you know, their own, you know, relationship and all those things, which are very normal, you know, in terms of their development. However, there are certain things that can easily put them in trouble. And this is not just the boys, it includes the girls as well. However, in terms of society, the perception on young black boys, you know, they are definitely put in a different category. And somebody may say, oh, Nana, why? It's really important we talk about it. Go do your research. What I will definitely encourage is things like, you know, sending on text messages, things like, you know, encouraging people in relationship. Whilst it needs to be age appropriate, please have the discussion with your son to make sure that they don't get themselves in spaces where it is deemed that they are rather coercing. You know, these are words that can easily be used, you know, for our young lads, you know, coercing, leading people on, okay? It's not just our young boys who need relationship. It goes both ways. But it is equally the responsibility of the parents to make sure that these discussions are had. Equally, in some communities, it's a bit of a, you know, gray areas, a bit of a taboo subject to be talking about relationships, you know, and all those things. I definitely want to make sure that we keep this conversation very PG, and you can pass on this section of the video to your son and also your daughters as well. However, what I will say is whatever they sent on from their phone, they are equally guilty as per the content of that particular, you know, what is being displayed in that video as well, or in that particular image. So let's encourage our children, let's advise them, let's give them the understanding, the tools for them to be able to, you know, go through the adolescence. And whilst it may look like a banter, somebody sent something interesting to me, and sometimes in some very worst cases, somebody sent a picture, a video of somebody that they know, especially those they have in their schools, their peers and that. All these things are things that can easily lead them in trouble in terms of in the sight of the law. They should stay away from that, okay? Please, I think that should be the section that I wanted to raise for parents to be able to know how to, share some of these things with their own children in order for them to be very much aware. Anyway, my name is Nana SA. I work with young people as a social worker, and this is what I think is my responsibility, to educate you and any other person who is looking to work in the care industry. Because the reality is, if you find yourself foul of the law will not take into consideration where you've come from. It doesn't matter, you know, you can scream and shout and plead to be coming from the most poorest areas. It doesn't matter. The law is the law. So stay away. My brothers, respect to you, and I'll see you in the next video. There are lots of you who continue to watch these videos, find it very useful, but you never subscribe. Let's see how many people will like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to promote Our oneness, our unity as a community. But equally, if you've got something to share, please let's hear it in the comment section. If you want any queries, please put it in the comment section. We will do our very best to respond to you. And until the next one, we say, boom, respect to you.
No. Why? Why do you want me to forgive you?
It's gonna be bad.
Why?
Because you understand?
Yeah. Then don't talk to children sexually.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Malawi?
I'm from Malawi.
Yeah. What would happen in Malawi if you spoke to a child in a sexual way?
Something very bad.
Like what? You tell me.
I'm asking you to forgive me.
No. What would happen?
But even in Malawi, I will never done such things because something like social media, we have reminder.
That's because in Malawi they would come down on you like a ton of bricks, whereas in the UK, people like you get away with it. What are you on, a student visa?
Sorry?
Student visa?
Work visa.
Work visa?
Work visa. I work as a carer.
You work as a carer?
Yeah. Wow.
So you're in a place of trust. You asked for pictures of her vagina. I take you as my wife to be.
Yeah, I texted her as well.
You texted her to be your wife?
Yeah, I cannot deny.
Yeah, I can't wait to grab your breast. How to suck my d***. You said that. Remember that? What's your family gonna think?
Please forgive me.
What will your family think? Your mom, dad, brothers, sisters?
Please forgive me. I'm coming from Africa, a poor country.
You need to know the laws of every country. If I go on holiday, I read the laws, so I know what I can and can't do.